Hey guys, Vince Luca here. Welcome to the channel. Don't judge me, you've all done it. And this video, we're going to be farming or grinding for Descendants and guns. And I'm going to go really simple, really easy, maybe for younger players or for newer players or people who haven't played Warframes or these type of games. So first off, the research person here, Anais, she's the one that you want to research parts from, so Descendant and weapons. But before you can craft a weapon or gun, you need the materials of that weapon or gun. So if you go to Descendants and you want to craft Glay, for example, you need these three and her blueprint. For Jaber, you need these three and his blueprint. Lepic, you need these three, and so on. So for Viessa, for example, we're going to use her for this video. You need these three materials and a blueprint. So it doesn't really tell you if you already have this material, so make sure not to craft something you already have. It's a waste of material. You can go into your consumables here and maybe find it here, but sometimes you have a long list of things, so it's kind of difficult to see if you have it or not in this consumables tab. If you go to the Descendants tab, which kind of sucks, I wish they would do it, but they should add a button here that says research, so you don't have to come to Anais all the time, but it doesn't show you there either. So the best way to find out if you have the parts already is to actually go to the Descendant in question, so Viessa for example here, and it tells me I have two of the parts. I have her stabilizer and her catalyst. I am missing the enhanced cells, which is at the top, so I'm gonna have to craft that, and I'll show you how to get that. So we're gonna go to Descendant materials, and I'm gonna click on enhanced cells here because it's the one I'm missing, and I'm gonna see what I need. So for most part I have these. If you don't have them, you could press the acquisition info and go farm them. So I'm missing just this one here, the blueprint. So press acquisition info and it's going to tell you exactly where to get that. So to get this, there's two options. I have intercept battle, which is a boss battle for Grave Walker, so you can go do it there, or you have the void versions. So for boss battles, you're going to see this thing. It's like a loot box. Let's pretend that's a loot box, and it's all stone. So the stones ones are for boss fights, and if you click on it, it tells you where to go get that stone loot box for the boss fight. So if you come here, you spend about 30 minutes or more doing this mission of waves and stuff, and you'll probably get it, maybe not. For the void fusion way of doing it, so if we click on that, it's going to give you a different look to the loot box that we're talking about. This is loot box 34. See how it looks? It looks like a cell or some kind of atom cell. So for that one, try to remember the number 34 because that's important. It's going to tell you if you come do this mission, you can get this loot box number 34, and you have a 20% chance of getting it every time you do this mission. So these missions are fairly short, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And every 5 to 10 minutes, you have a 20% chance of getting that loot box. And you have another percentage of getting it again if you do it quietly or stealthily. So I don't have that Descendant yet. It's probably going to be my next Descendant, get the stealth one, because with her, then you could go farm a bunch of stuff. This one here, for example, can open box 35. So that's not what I'm looking for. This one right here, the red one, opens box 34. So on the same map, there should be the void boss that can open the number of the loot box you're looking for. These ones that have logos inside them, like the fire logo, means that that's where you go and farm for the void shards. The void shards are what you need to summon the boss that can open the loot box number 34. So I know it's getting a bit complicated, but it's not that hard to understand. It's basically do the mission that gives you the box. So for this one, it's box 34, and then come here, summon the boss, and that's how you open that box number 34. It's probably easier visually, so I'll just fast travel to this first mission. which is where I'm gonna go get the box 34, which has the Viesa part inside it, and it's probably gonna be where these orange pillars are. Oh, did I make it? I made it. It's fun when you actually like miss the first time and you actually make it with your grappling hook. But yeah, so another tip, before you start farming or grinding, check your battle pass. If you're into that, if you're like leveling up your battle pass, go to challenges of your battle pass and your daily tasks, just check what they are. So for example, I have defeat enemies with a beam weapon. So as you're grinding and farming, try to maximize what you can. Even equipping a weapon that's proficiency level 1, or that you haven't proficiency leveled up yet, that's really good to equip, as it's going to increase your mastery rank faster. So use weapons that you haven't used before, level those up as you're grinding. I'm going to look for a beam weapon here. This one right here, Dogma 21, is a beam weapon. It's proficiency level 1, so that's perfect. I'm leveling up a gun. I'm getting my battle pass leveled up, so all of this is good. So equip a gun that is level 1, not level 1, proficiency level 1, and yeah, try to do your dailies at the same time. So if you have a lot of enemies to kill, just another tip, this orange mission here, or most of these missions that have these orange pillars or cranes or whatever in a circular pattern, the bosses inside or the enemies inside are always going to spawn. So after you kill them, there's going to be new ones that spawn. So it's an endless supply of enemies in case you need it. Once you do enter, it's going to trigger the mission. And the mission is basically destroy 4 of these pillars, these batteries, or whatever they're called, power units. So A, B, C, D. Destroy those 4, and a boss is going to appear with a yellow health bar. And you want to kill him first before anybody else, because once you kill him, everybody else dies. And you look at what you received. You should get the box. I got the box 34 there. Now, if you missed it, there's 2 ways of checking. First way is to go into your consumables tabs in inventory and look under new, see if you've received pattern 34, the loot box 34, and make sure that that one has the actual item that you're looking for inside of it. If not, you can do a see mission results at the end of the mission. On the PlayStation 5, it's L1 and left on the D-pad. That's going to open up your mission, and it's going to tell you here at the bottom what you received for doing that mission. In this case, I didn't get it, but I got it the first time. The second time I didn't get it, but also the proficiency levels of your weapons are going up, so that's good. So I'm going to wait here and do it again. Once you have like 3 or 4 of those loot boxes, you can go to the place to open them and summon the boss. It's going to tell you yes with a check mark, you have this. You can come here and open it, but before you do that, you also need void shards. So to get these void shards, you have to do void fragment missions. So for example, this void fragment that's toxic, if I complete it, it's going to give me void fragments. And there's different types of elements for each of these void fragments. So look on the map, try to find the one that matches your descendant, or switch descendants to try to match, like for example, toxic is good for me since I'm doing Freyna, but there's fire over there. This one is a boss leveler. There's another poison here. This one is no attribute, so none of the basic toxic, chill, fire elements. So you could come here and do this one without any of those, and that's going to give you some void fragments. I don't know how much it gives you. It probably doesn't give you much, but there's a 100% chance of getting them, so that's pretty good. If you're really missing like 1 or 2, you can go there and get it done for 100%. This one is chill, so if you have a chill descendant, you could come and do this one. So for example, since I'm using Freyna, I'm gonna do the poison one over here, and I'm gonna show you it so that visually you know what it looks like. So I'm gonna fast travel to it, and it basically looks like 2 rocks with the element ball in the middle. This one's poison. I'm using Freyna, so I can just open it up with poison. So I'm going to throw poison at it. If it says immune, it's because you don't have the right element. But if you do, it's going to trigger the mission, and it's basically waves of enemies. So here I have to kill 52 enemies. I'm going to fast forward it. It is a grind. It is a farm. This whole game, that's what it is. If you don't like farming or grinding, don't even bother playing this game. If you do enjoy it, then this is how it's done. So basically, after 3 waves of enemies and the fragment has no more shield on it, you can throw the last damage on it. So poison, it's going to finish, and it's going to tell you here if you got some void shards, and I got a few there. So now that I have enough void shards and I have the loot box to summon the boss, I'm going to go to him. And again, you have to make sure that this boss is going to open box 34. So when you start it up, there's going to be a boss that's going to show up. And once you've killed him, he won't drop the loot you're looking for. He's going to drop some loot, but it's not the loot box. So if you can see, he's dropping loot, but again, he's not dropping loot box, but he does turn into something that opens the loot box. Let me kill these guys. I don't have any ammo, so I'm going to just melee, whatever you like to call it. And then you're going to come here and open your loot box. This is how you finally open your loot box. And after all of that, so I'm going to make sure it's the one I'm looking for, 34. Yep. So if you click on it, it's also going to tell you what it has inside, and there's Viesa's cells that I need. 38% chance of getting that. So after all of those missions and farming all of that, you have 38% chance of getting it. I didn't get it. Eventually, when you do get it, come back to Aeneas and craft the part you're missing for that Descendant. And this should take a few hours, 8 hours. So you're gonna have to wait 8 hours for that. And let me see, what else am I missing? So I'm gonna go to Descendant, Viesa. I'm gonna click on her to see what I'm missing. Now this little play icon means it's in research. So it's being researched. So you don't look for it, you're already getting it. So the only thing I'm gonna be missing is the Viesa code. So I'm gonna check acquisition info, find out where to get it, and a lot of intercept battles. So it's probably gonna be a boss. You're probably gonna have to go do a boss, or there's a void shard there, but boss ones look like rocks, and that's the mission you have to do to go get that box. The other ones, the voids, look like atoms. So if it's an atom, it's you're doing it on the map. If it's rocks, if it looks like a rocks as a loot box, then it's a boss. So to get this 183, I need to be invisible, and I don't know how to do that with this Descendant or my Descendants. So forget that. I'm gonna have to go to Devour. I'm gonna find out where to get the loot box for the Devour, which is right here. Complete that mission and you'll get a percentage of getting that loot box. So you can check mission results, see if you got that loot box after completing it, and there it is at the top. So it says Viesa code, so I got the right loot box. So now I could come and fight the boss and try to open it. And the boss was, I believe, Devourer. So we're gonna look for Devourer, fight him, and before fighting him, you make sure you have the green check mark here. These tell you which one of those loot boxes you have. I have 3 different types in inventory. I'm gonna just check them, make sure. So this one and this one. So I have 2 of them that give me Viesa code if I defeat the boss and open the loot box here. So join a public team. Hopefully everybody's farming with you, and some of them are strong enough to go quickly. And you're doing all of this for a 15% chance of getting that code. If you don't get it now, then you have to redo all of that, what I showed you before. Yeah, so once the boss dies, he's gonna drop the same thing that the world boss drops as well, this ball, this sphere here. and then once you click on it, you can choose which one you want to open. So make sure you're choosing the one of the item that you're looking for. So for me, it's the Viesa code. You can use stabilizers to increase the percentage. Those stabilizers are super rare. I only have 2 in stock right now. I don't think I'm going to use it for this. I'll probably use it to try to get the 3% things or whatever, but whatever. Let's just open this, see what I get. Oh, I got it. So I got the first try, I got the Viesa code. 15% chance. If I didn't get it, I would have to redo this boss again and try to open the same loot box again. But once you have the 4 parts you need, you could just come to Anais again, pick up the parts that you've researched. So for me, it was the enchanted cells. I have a few other things that I was researching, so I'm going to just pick those up. Those are for guns. But yeah, so once you picked up all 4, you can research the Descendant. You can see here I have all 4 parts is for her. And this took me about a day. So you could probably like get 1 Descendant per day if you farm. And if you farm the way I showed you, like specific targets where it's telling you to go, just go farm a few, get a few of those loot boxes, make sure it's the right number, then go open them at the world boss or the Colossi bosses. And it's the same thing for weapons. So if you want to like get the Thunder Cage, just go to whatever you're missing, click on acquisition info, tells you where it is, click on it, go do it until you get that Thunder Cage polymer. So yeah, so this is how you get things. You could even like merge weapons together. So if you have 2 of the same, you can merge them so that they become more powerful. I did Fallen Hope because it's very good with Freyna, and that Fallen Hope gun, if you maximize it, basically farm it 4 times, it becomes powerful with Freyna because it's all poison. But yeah, once you've decided on which one you want to farm for, just look in the acquisition information, and if it says mission monster like this one does, it just means that the monsters in this mission might have a chance of dropping these. I don't know what the percentage is, but yeah, so basically redo this mission over and over again, pick up what the monsters drop until you have enough. So if I wanted to get Ultimate Bunny, I would have to get this piece first, and to get this, it's a rock looking thing, which means it's for a boss, an actual Colossus boss. If it would look like an atom, for example, maybe this one, let's see if I can find one. So if it looks like some kind of atom looking thing, then this is probably the void version of how to open that loot box. So there's 2 different ways of opening loot boxes: the void version, like I showed you by summoning mini bosses on the map, and the actual Colossus version. So yeah, so this is it. It took me about a day to get Viesa, but like I got really lucky getting that 15% blueprint. It might take you longer. I've heard people spend a week trying to get one thing. So yeah, if you're not into that, don't play this game. If you are, this is how you farm, and hopefully they fix it or they increase the numbers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.